Afternoon. We are joined with RBC Ambassador Corey Connors. Corey, you're making your ninth start here at the RBC Heritage. We'll start off with some thoughts on what it's like to be back here in Hilton Head.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back here in Hilton Head for the RBC Heritage. It's where I made my pro debut after playing the Masters as an amateur 10 years ago in 2015. So thrilled to be back. It's a great place. Love the golf course. My family's here with me. It's a great place to have the family. Just love the feel of the island here, and I'm really excited, for the golf tournament. The course is in great shape, so it'll be a fun week.
Any activities you get to do with the family outside of the golf course during this week?
Some swinging on the swings. Our little girl went to ride on some ponies yesterday, so that was fun. We'll try and venture out, either mornings or afternoons for the rest of the week. But lots of things to do, so it's fun.
T8 last week at the Masters, fifth top 10 of the season. How's it entering the week, turning the page after an exhausting week?
Yeah, definitely a lot of emotions and adrenaline last week. It was fun to be in the mix. The first major of the year of the Masters, and disappointed with the Sunday. So, want to kind of get back to kind of playing my game, and hopefully can put some good rounds together and get in contention here as well. But I think this is a great place to come after a week like that. A little more relaxing. It's a fun place to play and fun place to be.
Thanks. We have Doug.
Corey, how does that post major, particularly Masters process work? Are your first thoughts positive or negative?
Probably a little negative coming off the golf course for me. Not really having my best stuff on Sunday, and really having a good chance there. And I felt like, but the week as a whole, I did a lot of things really well after having some time to reflect. I think, didn't feel like I hit it my best some of the days, but was able to score the ball really well, which felt good, and then hit some better shots and just wasn't quite able to get it in. So didn't quite have everything working, which is certainly what it takes to win big events. But definitely lots of positive things I can take from the week, and felt like I did a good job of just playing my game, sticking to the game plan, despite the atmosphere out there and what was going on around.
That was my next question. Is remove your hat as a player and become more of a fan. When you got off the course and signed and looked at what was going on, if you didn't already hear it and see it, did you stick around? Were you at all curious to see how it would end, and what were your thoughts on that whole development? Yeah,
I would say all through the second nine on Sunday, I knew kind of what was going on, just because Rory was playing right in the group behind, so I had to back off the tee shot on 12, waiting for them to hit it into 11, and that happened a number of times. When we were on 16, Rory hit the shot on 15. Had to wait a little while for things to settle down. Saw his bunker shot, and while signing the card, stepped out and heard the reaction, knowing that he missed the putt. But I think there, everyone's so into the golf, and could tell what was happening by the crowd fan reaction. So I packed up my stuff and left the course, but was keeping an eye on my phone to see how the playoff was going. I saw their tee shots on a TV in the clubhouse and in the playoff, and then knew Rory hit it. They both hit good shots. Rory hit it in pretty close, and saw that he won.
We have Gary and then Kathy.
Corey, it was just as an observer, it was emotionally draining to watch these last two groups on Sunday. How draining was it for you, and do you still feel it Monday or Tuesday? At what point this week do you feel like I'm back in the groove to play another tournament?
Yeah, definitely pretty draining. Just a lot of physically and mentally, but I've been able to have a light day. Didn't do much Monday. just a little bit yesterday. Obviously, the Pro-Am this morning. I feel like this golf course I know quite well, so my preparation, I'll be able to manage the energy a little bit. I've been able to manage the energy a little bit better for that, and still feel maybe a little fatigued. But once I think once tomorrow rolls around and it's the start of the tournament, some more adrenaline will kick in. It's game time, and they'll be ready to go.
Did you get a lot of messages Saturday night, or did you not? Did you even dare look at your phone?
Yeah, I was kind of aware. I got quite a few messages, and some pretty cool ones. Certainly Mike Weir was, sending me messages, giving me some advice, just saying basically trust myself. And yeah, a bunch of other friends and some others. That was cool to see, but did a pretty good job of just kind of normalizing things as much as possible and not reacting too much to anything on the outside. But yeah, it was nice to be supported by so many people and receive the messages. But yeah, just tried to dumb it down and just play golf.
Kathy?
Can you quantify how much more nervous you were being in contention in the Masters versus being in contention in a signature event versus being in contention in a regular tour event? I assume that there's different levels, so that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. Winning my first event on the PGA Tour, I was really nervous. I think I've learned how to sort of deal with the nervousness a little bit better. Teeing it up in my first President's Cup, the nerves were pretty high. Those moments, was definitely nervous going into the weekend in contention and a major, but kind of learned some coping methods to just kind of stick to my process, stick to my game. The nerves are good to feel and kind of embrace that a little bit more now. So I don't know, anytime you're in contention, every event that we're playing on the PGA Tour or certainly a major is a big one. And yeah, I feel like I don't know, my nerves are similar in all situations. If I had a putt to win on Sunday, or was a little closer to the lead coming out those last few holes, I might have a little bit of a different answer. But yeah, there's definitely nerves there. But pretty much any event, I'd say there's some nerves that are similar.
Is it like shaky nerves? Is it like pit of your stomach nerves? Is it?
Yeah, it's just a little bit harder to go through your process to think clearly. I find harder to be in control of your body or feel everything in your body. But tried feeling that, just try to take a couple deep breaths and just trust the game and sort of embrace the nervousness.
Thank you.
And we have Adam.
Corey, how would you describe that environment on Saturday when Rory's on that run of threes early in the round?
Yeah, it was pretty electric. It was amazing playing with Rory on Saturday, and a lot of the energy was kind of on our group, and I did a good job of staying patient. He was 5 under through 5. I was on the 6th tee. I was like telling myself I'm going to get my opportunities and try and capitalize on them. Was able to make a few birdies around the turn, but the atmosphere was crazy. It was a little more comfortable for me playing with Rory on Saturday and kind of having the energy on our group and sort of trying to feed off of that a little bit. Sunday was a little bit different. All the energy was kind of right behind us, and a little more distracting, I would say. But yeah, it was pretty amazing to watch. As a golf fan, Rory's an amazing player. Getting off to that start Saturday was pretty cool to be a part of.
Bryson made it out that Rory didn't really speak to him during the course of the round. What about with you on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of just in. There's a job we're trying to do. We certainly had a few chats. Have gotten to know Rory a little bit and been paired together. Played with him on Sunday at the Players. I wouldn't say I'm super talkative, but we had a few conversations out there. I don't know if that would have been different on Sunday when there was everything was on the line. But again, happy to talk to my playing partners, but happy to just kind of stay in my zone as well.
You have any idea who's leading the tour in top 10 finishes this season?
I do not. I probably up there. I think. I think I have 5.
It would be
so
you.
There
It would
we
be
go.
you. What's been clicking?
I would say just a little more, belief and trust in my game. I can't really pinpoint. I've had some weeks that I've putted really well. That's certainly been a big bonus and helped me, turn my mediocre rounds into good ones and kind of stay in some of the bigger events. But, compared to other years, the parts of my game feel similarly. I've worked hard to refine things, and I think just not making mistakes and just being pretty steady, I think, has been a key for me. And it's fun to have those top 10s.
At the Masters, I'll give it to you. At the Masters, you mentioned your dad suggested you change putt to a certain type of putter. Do you listen to your dad on stuff like that often?
No, not really. He doesn't really say too much to me, but he's mentioned that for a while, and it wasn't necessarily because something that he said that I ended up making the switch, but just before making the switch, or when I was putting it through some tests at home, he was down there, and I showed him what I had in the bag, and I think he was excited for me. But yeah, I mean, he's an avid golfer, but not I wouldn't say he's an expert, but I think we have some of the. He's always been a really good putter, and he's used a center shafted putter and likes how it rolls. So give him a little credit there.
We have Doug and Gary.
Do you care about money?
About money?
Yeah.
No, not really. It's
When did you stop? When you came here in 15 for your pro debut, I bet you were probably.
I would say my first year, I was always curious about the check I was going to make, but the last few years, not really. Regardless of the purse, I'm going to be here. Love this golf course, love this event. And it's basically the case that everywhere I tee it up, it's just kind of a nice bonus. Feel fortunate, but it doesn't. The amount that I make doesn't change who I am or really my day-to-day life much.
If you don't mind me putting you on the spot with a horrific question, if they took the prize money and shrunk it, would that change your outlook at all?
No.
As a professional golfer who does this for a living? That's what I mean.
I don't think it really would. No, if the purse here was half of what it is, I would still be just as amped up and just as excited to be here and play. Still a lot of money. It'd be, if they started shrinking a lot of the purses, I think my mind would be concerned with, the finances of the tour as a whole. But, I know things are in a good spot. The golf's in a great spot and the tour's on a good trajectory. But yeah, the purse is not a big thing on my mind, or that's something that I'm worried about. Do I know what it is this week? I'm not sure, no.
Gary, go ahead.
Corey, kind of following up on what Adam asked you about continuing to refine your game and improve it, how important are majors to you? I mean, you've had 4 top 10s in the Masters. You've been top 10 in 2 of the last 3. I think you're finished 15th or better in all 4 majors. Is that a goal, or are you working on things specifically geared toward inching closer in the majors?
Yeah, I'm always working hard, and it's certainly a dream to win a major. But I'm working hard to win any week on the PGA Tour, or any event that I play in. I wouldn't say my entire year is focused on trying to be at my absolute best for the majors. I'm trying to be at my best every week, and just keep layering good event on good event, and hopefully can kind of peak at those right times. But yeah, I'm just excited every week pretty much, and certainly there's a little more emphasis on the majors, and but I'd say how I prepare for most weeks and how I prepare for majors is pretty similar.
I'm going to wrap it up with one. IGF announced recently about the addition of a mixed team format for LA 28. What are your thoughts about teaming up alongside the ladies?
Yeah, really exciting. I think it's a huge step forward for golf. I've got to play with Brooke Henderson, a Canadian LPGA player, at the Grant Thornton Invitational the last couple of years, and it's really been a blast. And I've certainly enjoyed my 2 Olympic experiences immensely, but having something like that I think will add a little bit more excitement to the Olympics and to golf. And the ladies are so impressive. It's fun to team up with them, and that'll coming in a few years, that'll be definitely a goal of mine to be able to represent Canada again and be a part of that mixed team competition. But I think it's really exciting and will be a lot of fun.
Perfect. Thank you, Corey, for the time, and good luck this week.
Thank you.